A bull shark terrorizes swimmers in a tiny area off the coast of Australia in this episode. After its initial death in the bay, it begins to want human flesh and later rips another swimmer in two. Click the like and subscribe buttons right now. This is Bantry Bay's terrifying shark attack. New South Wales is home to the bay known as Bantry Bay. It is a relatively remote location with minimal development, and since it has so many breathtakingly beautiful paths that are open to the public, it was transformed into Gerald National Park. This bay offers access to the water below and is a very well-liked hiking location. The indigenous rock art in this region, which has 82 images representing people, animals, and everyday life, is one of its most distinctive features. It is a fantastic account of the Aboriginal people's life and provides information about a fascinating culture. Historically speaking, the 1940s were a very turbulent decade, mostly because of the continuing wars. Between 1939 and 1945, during World War II, individuals were evacuated from their nations and relocated to areas that were seen to be considerably safer. One such location was Hong Kong, where many British families lived and were urged to leave in 1940 because the city had become unsafe. As a consequence, 5,000 women and children were sent to Australia, moving the bulk, namely, to New South Wales. Since the men were anticipated to continue fighting and eventually become prisoners of war, many families were broken apart. Even though it was believed to be a safe refuge for immigrants, many of the families found it to be everything but. Those who were evacuated had to rapidly and without much preparation adjust to the temperature and culture of Australia, since it was an exceedingly tough period. Denise Birch, who was 13 at the time of her evacuation, came from one of these families. After moving to New South Wales 2 years before, Denise Rosemary Birch and her family started to feel extremely at home there. They were mostly unharmed, despite the fact that the conflict was in full swing. So, apart from the anxiety of losing their father and brother, who are now Japanese pals, like any other 15-year-old, Denise made the decision one day to go to the beach with several of her pals. The group had spent the Christmas season together with their family and friends, swiftly adjusting to their new surroundings, thanks to an Aussie welcome. It was Boxing Day. There were 4 guys and 4 girls in the group, whose ages varied from 15 to 18. Perfect weather prevailed. The seas were invitingly clean, and it was a beautiful day. A few sharks had been seen in the area, but this was not uncommon, and they had not heard of an attack in a while. Since there were no signs of danger to deter them, they reasoned that the area must be safe. At 9:00 am, they departed the shore in 2 small boats and stopped for lunch at Ironside Point, a small harbor in Bantry Bay with sparkling rock pools at low tide, while the rest of the group was still on shore. The 2 lads made the decision to go swimming. They paddled forward from the coast until they were around 20 meters from it, at which point the water was significantly deeper, and they could swim and dive without worrying about running afoul of any rocks. They were enjoying the scorching sun and the chilly seas on this wonderful day, the seeming danger of war. Denise was relaxing by the water and eating lunch with the other females while trying to stay cool. They were conversing enthusiastically about school and their future plans when Denise suddenly felt a searing ache in her thigh. She was horrified to see that a big bull shark had seized her leg as she glanced down. While she screamed in agony and terror, she was immediately taken inside, returning to the waves after falling backwards. When her pals saw this, they screamed in terror to the 2 lads swimming nearby that a shark was circling the area. When individuals on shore attempted to help their buddy, they swam away from the location since they knew that if they lingered in the sea, they would probably be the next victims. She fought the animal, but it was firmly wedged into her leg and had no intention of releasing since it knew where its next meal was. Suddenly, the shark took her down into the sea and held her there while slowly suffocating her. She started to worry when she realized she was out of breath and started punching the animal with her hands. But rather of releasing her, it started to shake her by her legs. It tore further into her limbs, ripping the flesh and muscle off of her leg and inflicting excruciating pain. She attempted to scream, but she was submerged. I am unable. Breathe is impossible. The guys gathered rocks and branches from the beach and started hurling them at the shark, tossing them with such force that the shark was sufficiently scared and injured to give up. They hadn't seen Denise in a while, and the bloody puddle that was forming on the water's surface was frightening them. As they were the only ones there, they considered yelling for someone. The youngsters were defending their friend's life from a shark on their own. After what seemed like an eternity, the party managed to strike the shark with enough rounds for it to retreat, leaving them to search the water for their comrade. She didn't fight to the surface as they had planned, gasping for oxygen and requiring assistance. Denise's corpse drifted to the surface dead after a painful wait. To check on their comrade, the pails dove into the water, but she had already passed away. They were shocked to see the extent of the injuries when they dragged her from the water. She had blood loss. Thus it seemed that this was the real cause of death for her since her legs had been severed. While they labored to extricate her from the water, they frantically called their parents, pleading with them to provide a hand and inform them that their companion had passed away. When Denise's mother arrived at the site of her daughter's death, she was inconsolable. Her family was promptly notified. She swore at the shark and what it had done to her family while inconsolable. Pamela, her elder sister, was already there. She observed the whole incident while with Denise and their friends, and because of her astonishment, she was unable to talk to anybody about what she had seen. Though there was nothing they could do, the police were quickly called, and they took Denise's body away from the beach. Since Denise had not seen the shark or provoked it in any way, it was determined that the attack was unprovoked and that her death was an accident. Soon after the incident, Denise was laid to rest at St. Andrew's Cemetery. A sizable funeral was held. Her death surprised the public since she was so young and full of life lost too soon, and the community rallied around to support the family and offer their sympathies for the bizarre incident. Humans are simply another prey species to them since they are aware of their place in the food chain. The responsible shark was never captured, despite the best efforts of the community and the police. Instead, people were just told to avoid the waters of Bantry Bay since they would likely be attacked by the shark and suffer the same horrific fate.